All right, I think I'm live. Possibly. Comment and let me know if you're here. I'm using a brand new platform that kicked me out at the last second, and then I had to recreate it. So I'm hoping this is working. Oh, I see a hello. Hi, Joy. I'm not sure where it went, if it went into the event, or did you find this on the page? I'll give everyone a few minutes to find it, especially because I don't even know where it went. It popped on my page. Okay, so hopefully people can find it then. I'm trying this new thing and it doesn't tell me where it goes. It's kind of weird, but figured I'd give it a try. Hopefully it works and everyone can find it. I'll give everyone a few minutes to get in, but when you come in, say hi, tell me you're here. And if you hear noises, it's because my kids are here. So it's not in the event nor the group, but it is on the page. Okay. I'll have to figure this out. Like I said, I'm trying a new platform. I don't do lives often anyway, so it's kind of new, but I had a lot of people asking me to do it, so we're gonna give it a go today. Ooh, Laura from Florida. Hi. Hi, Mar. We'll let people roll in for a few minutes here. My husband's getting ready to take the kids out for a little bit, but they haven't left yet, so. Oh, Mar from DC. Hi. Well, I'm from Arizona, for those who don't know. Hi, guys. Kids are leaving. All right, so Joy, so you're local to me then. I'm Tucson. I think you were referred by someone or saw it on one of the local pages, I think. Ah, from Mel. Okay. I was like, I thought I saw somewhere in there. I know Mel was going to try and join in too, so. But they are out traveling. And if you hear barking, it's because we have a brand new puppy. All right, well, we can get started. Let me first pull up and then I'll pull up my thing on here because I don't know how to do it on here yet. So I've got to be at two places at once so that I can see things. I can see your comments, but I can't see anything else. Oh, you said it's 9:40. Oh, yeah. See, I didn't think about that. It is only 6:40 here. So it's just after dinner time. So I appreciate you joining us so late. I promise it'll be worth your time, though. I have a lot of information and a lot of giveaways. If we have a lot of people come in, there's going to be lots of giveaways. So let me, first of all, I'm going to do, for the giveaways, I have a variety of different items, mostly books and different things. So you'll always have a choice. Some of them are religious. Some of them are one's called So You've Decided to Homeschool. There's one for women, just different things. So I'll always give you a choice so that you can let me know which one you want in case you don't want one of the religious things. So I can't seem to even get back to my page now. Let's see. I appreciate you guys for bearing with me. New stuff, and I get to try it out on you. So where's my... There we go. Okay, so I had a giveaway kind of going before we got started, and it was for sharing and or inviting people to the event. And I had several people do it. Only a couple of people commented that they did it. So I did a random draw from those people who had commented or sent me a message saying that they had shared. And so our first winner is Joy Almond. You are the first winner. And I hope you're still in here. I know you were here at the beginning, but you have the choice between a book called Daily Focus. It is a devotional for homeschoolers by homeschoolers. Or You've Decided to Homeschool. Now what? So just send me a message and you can let me know. I'm actually getting messages that people can't find me. So let me go back in here. Maybe I had it all set up, all nice, right? Easy to do. And let me see if I can share this link. I'm now listening to myself, which is weird. I don't see how to do that. So, all right, well, hopefully people can find it and come on in. I don't know how else to do it. Mara says you can do a share to your other pages, which I still can't figure out how to do. Is there a link to the live you can share on the event page? See, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't actually know. So I thought originally when I set this up that it was going to go directly into the event. But as I was signing in, it was like, no, it's going to go to your page. And I had already had this all set up. Like, I have it all fancy for you guys. But it doesn't help if no one can find it. So I don't know. Oh, let's see, share. Let's see, it's only letting me, oh, on your page. It's only letting me share on my page. Let's try one more thing. Maybe if I whole copy. I'm gonna get smart at this. I'm gonna get it good, and then next time we do this, you guys will be like, "Oh, she knows what she's doing." Because right now she has no idea, which would be very accurate. Okay, I got it in the event. Okay, so I have it in the event. So now people hopefully can find it in the event. All right, so when you win a prize, you get to choose, and I have little sticky notes, so I'm going to write down what you choose. So make sure you comment and then send me a private message with your address for it to go to. Okay. So let's get started. Hopefully more people will join, but if not, then you lovely people will just get all the info. So I actually want to go ahead and so this is my page. Obviously, I created it just because we're homeschooling, and I already did the giveaway, but I want to do another giveaway right at the beginning here. And for this giveaway, what I want you to do is comment, and I'm going to choose the third comment, and that person will win, and they'll get to choose. So what I want you to comment is why you're considering homeschooling, or why you are starting, or why you started homeschooling. So the third person's comment will win a prize. And yes, you can win multiple times. So go ahead and in the comments, tell me why you want to start homeschooling, or why you did start homeschooling. So while you're doing that, I will tell you how we got started. So we didn't actually plan to homeschool. I actually had my eldest registered at the local school here, and they actually start them very early. And we decided to keep her home for that year and re-registered her the next year. And it is a school where they have uniforms and everything. And we actually had her registered, bought uniforms, bought lunch boxes, everything that you need for school. And I had a friend just mention homeschooling, and it kind of started going from there. We had a local homeschool convention, and I told my husband, I was like, I'm going to go. I'm probably going to come back and think, hey, we are crazy for considering homeschooling. But I was like, I'm going to go. So I went, and I actually came back with curriculum and was like, we are homeschooling. We unregistered her. I think I still have some of the uniforms because I tried to sell them, but school had already started, so everyone already had their stuff. And so I have 3 kids. My eldest is starting 5th grade. She is what we call E2, or twice exceptional. which is she has learning disabilities. She has dyslexia, dysgraphia, and dyspraxia, which is dyslexia obviously is trouble reading, but the other two most people don't know about. So dysgraphia is a physical writing issue. So physically writing is mentally and physically exhausting for her. And getting thoughts from her head to paper is hard. And dyspraxia, the easiest way to explain it is your body doesn't cross, your brain doesn't cross, your left and right, and they just don't cross very well. So you're unbalanced and it causes a lot of brain thoughts. But the reason she's twice exceptional is because she is also extremely advanced in math and science. So there's that. My middle one, we haven't got him diagnosed, but we're pretty sure he has severe dyslexia, just like his older sister. And he also has auditory processing issues. So you can be looking right at him, tell him to do something, and he'll stare at you because it takes him longer to process things. He also has some rage with it, all kinds of stuff. And then, so he's behind, if you want to say that. And then my youngest is just kind of catching on to everything, kind of well-rounded. I don't think she has any issues of any kind. She just kind of is there. So that, and let's see, I have a husband. We've been married 18 years now. And he works full-time, sometimes more than full-time, sometimes double-time. I work from home 25 to 40 hours for a business. And then I also design and maintain websites for my own business, along with homeschooling and everything else. So that is my family. And let's see, the third person to comment with homeschooling, why they are considering homeschooling, is Crystal Dawn Howell. With my husband travels with his job, so homeschooling would be easier schedule-wise, and all the COVID mess. So yes, this COVID mess. I tell people if I wasn't already homeschooling, I would be homeschooling. So Crystal, you won, and let me get your options here. So I have another, you've decided to homeschool, now what? Or this book, which is called For Women Only. And it's for women only, what you need to know about the inner lives of men. So kind of an interesting one. You can choose which one you'd like. Just let me know. And then later on, message me on the page with what you, which one you want. Oh, you're welcome. I got all kinds of prizes and fun stuff today. So, all right. So let's see. Oh, well, I already told you why we're homeschooling. So let's go into the definition of a homeschooler. So what you will learn is homeschoolers are very protective of the word homeschool. And the reason for that is because a true homeschooler is defined by parents teaching their own children without assistance or money assistance from anywhere else. So the difference is a lot of people will do like Primavera, all these different things at home, but they are not true homeschoolers because they are registered as a public school student. The reason it matters is a lot of homeschool groups require that you are an actual homeschooler in order to join. So that's the definition of a homeschooler. So to get more information about how to legally homeschool in your state, because every state is different, you want to go to hslda.org. That is Homeschool Lawyers Defense Association. And you can find the information for every state, all the requirements of what you need to homeschool in your state, because they are all vastly different. If you are local, you can find the information about Arizona at afhe.org, which is Arizona Families Homeschool Education. They are a Christian group, but you can still find all the information. And this is also the group that puts on the huge homeschool convention that we have here every year, other than this year because of the COVID. But they're a great organization if you are local. So you'll want to make sure that you find out what you have to do for your state because you want to be legal. So in Arizona, we have it really simple. When your child turns 6 or within 30 days of you deciding to homeschool, you fill out an affidavit that you can print online from HSLDA or from AFI, and you submit it to the local superintendent. They fill it out, accept it, and that is it. You're required to teach your 5 subjects. How you do it is up to you. We'll talk about that later, but that's it for homeschooling in Arizona. But some states require more, like you have to keep a journal of things, you have to keep projects, you have to check in with schools, but Arizona is actually very simple for that. So what I recommend is finding your tribe. You want to find homeschool groups in your area that you can join. You will find friends, your kids will find friends, and the most important thing is that you can bounce ideas off of them, you can find information, you can, they have park dates and play dates and field trips that are scheduled that normally, you know, as an individual family, you couldn't do. There's so many things that you can do if you can find a group, but you also need to find a group that you mesh with, because if you find a group you don't like, you don't want to stay with them. So then I'm going to talk about the types of homeschoolers. Okay, so there are traditional homeschoolers, which is you basically get a full boxed curriculum, and I'll talk about that. But you get a full boxed curriculum, you spend a lot of your time doing the book work. It's more traditional type school. You have something called Classical Conversations, which is a group that you would join, and they have their own curriculum, and it's more about rote memory, and they follow a 4-year rotation. And then Charlotte Mason, which is like a very hands-on school type. Unit Studies, which is, for this unit, you're going to focus on butterflies. So for math, you're going to do butterfly math. For science, obviously, you'd study, you know, butterflies. Maybe you'd add in cooking and you'd make butterfly-shaped food, pancakes or something. So that's what a unit study is. Then you have what is called unschooling. And a true unschooler is 100% child-led, meaning as a parent, you do not tell your kids what they should learn. You provide what they ask you for. So if they don't ask you for anything, you don't provide them anything. I know that sounds crazy, but there are so many kids that actually thrive that way and get into colleges early because they've been able to do and focus on things that they like. The last type is just relaxed. Well, there's actually kind of 2. Relaxed, which is kind of any of them can be relaxed. And then you have eclectic, which is like a combination of them. So, you know, maybe you do some unit studies, but there, you know, a lot of book work in it. But eclectic is kind of like a variety. So in my family, we've decided we are eclectically relaxed with unschooling tendencies. So we have a variety of curriculums and things that we use as curriculum. We believe life is also curriculum, so that's where the unschooling comes in. We're not at our desks a lot, but we also do a variety of book work. So that's kind of where I'm at for that. So we are eclectically relaxed with unschooling tendencies. So I want to do another giveaway. So for this one, I am going to take the, let's see, we have about 10 people watching. So hopefully you're all actually participating. So I'm going to take the 5th comment for this one. And actually, I'm not going to tell you which one I'm going to take because I want it to be random. I don't want you to wait and try to be the fifth one. So I'm going to take a random. I want you to comment with what type of a homeschooler you think you will be. Do you think that you like the idea of being traditional and sitting at the desk doing the book work? Do you think that you like the idea of just letting your kids lead the way? Or, a combination of them? What type do you think that you are or want to be if you haven't started yet? So I'm going to give everyone a couple of minutes to do that, while I also, because I'm going to try and get a lot of information in a short amount of time, but that way we can get to the questions and answers, anything else that you guys have. But I want to go through a lot of information for you. So two other things that I think are really important before we get started on actual curriculums and what you do. The first one that I believe is one of the most important is love languages. A lot of people have heard about it for adults, for their spouses, but not everyone knows or thinks about it for their kids. They're the same love languages that you use for adults. The reason these are so important is because it will help you to get your kids to want to learn. You will motivate your child more if you can motivate them in the way that they feel the love. So the 5 kinds are words of affirmation. This is good job. You did so good. I can't believe all those colors you used in your picture. Oh, good job at getting an A+, like the words. Okay. The second one is quality time, which is just literally spending time with them. A lot of times one-on-one time on the couch. Go to your kids' room, sit in their bed with them and read with them. Just spending that time with them one-on-one can be a big thing. 3, receiving gifts. Everyone thinks of this as a bad thing, but it's really not. Receiving gifts can be anything little or big that they receive. So for instance, my husband had to go for training out of state for a while. And when he came back, my oldest daughter, her love language is gifts. He brought her just this little like sequin doggy bag, like backpack. And she was just so happy because he thought of her while he was gone. So it's not necessarily the act of receiving the gift, but it's the reason why they received the gift. 4 is acts of service. So a lot of us as parents and moms really, really like the acts of service. That is where your kids will go randomly do the dishes for you. They will clean their room without you asking, things like that. So acts of service. And 5 is physical touch. And that can just be a high five, a hug, cuddling. So in my family, we're big on cuddling. My son is physical touch all the way. So anytime he does something super awesome, we are high-fiving, we're hugging, like that's what we do. So I think it's important that you know this about your kids so that you can help to get them, motivated the way that they need. Okay, so let's see. I have one more. Actually, let me take a look. Okay, random comment. I don't even know what number this is, but let's do Amanda Purdy. You won with your comment of student-led unit study eclectic. So I really like that because you're kind of a variety, and I kind of like that. Okay, so for your choices for now, until I'm able to get the answers from the others, I have Finding True Rest in a Busy Life, which is a little bit, it's got like a little Bible study almost, like with little affirmations for women. And then the other one would be the For Women Only, what you need to know about the inner lives of men. So, which one do you think that you would like, Amanda? You're like a game show host. And yes, I'm weird, so you'll learn that. All right, and if you let me know, then I can put the books back into play for other people. All right, so while we have that, and then if I don't hear from these people, I will do new giveaways because I want people that are here to get them. The busy life one, please. Okay, perfect. I got that set aside for you. Just send me a message at the end with your address so I can get it mailed to you. Okay, so then the next super, super important thing that you need to know about homeschooling is the types of learning. Now, this will apply to your kids as well as you, and I will explain why. So there are 4 types of learning: visual, auditory, reading or writing, or more hands-on, and kinesthetic. So visual means you need to see it. You need to see pictures. You need to visualize it. Okay. Auditory, you need to hear it. So if someone asks you to read something, you're probably not going to get it as well as if it's read to you. Reading and writing is opposite. You get it better if you are writing it or reading it yourself. And kinesthetic is fully hands-on. This is, I need to touch it. I need to move. The kinesthetic learners are the ones who won't sit down. They don't sit still. And something I've learned is that that is okay. As a homeschooler, they don't have to sit still. They don't have to, sit in their desk and not interrupt. They can get up and go to the bathroom when they want to. They don't have to raise their hand. The reason it's important for you to know this about your kids is there's so many different types of curriculums and things to help teach your kids. You want to know what's the best fit. You don't want to get them a workbook if they are an auditory and kinesthetic learner. They're going to hate it. But you do want to get them maybe, a hands-on interactive game on the computer. So that's important. And the reason it's important for you to know your learning type is because if you are teaching and it is not your learning type, you are going to hate homeschooling. So you have to take both into consideration. So if your kids are visual learners and you get something and you're let's say they're visual learners and you're an auditory learner and everything's visual, you're gonna not like it because you're like, I can't understand it. So super important to figure out what kind of learner your student is. And it could take a while to figure it out. Sometimes, so how do you tell what their learning type is? So that can take a little bit of time to try and figure out because there's not like a test. Actually, I think there is. I will see if I can find the link at some point because it's like the 5 love languages. There is a test that you can take. It's multiple choice, and whatever your highest one is what type of learner you are. But for kids, for learning types, if you just watch them, you can usually find out. If you give them a workbook and they are not getting it, try reading it to them and see if that works. If that doesn't work, see if playing Legos while you're reading works. I know that seems counteractive, but having something physical in their hands will actually help them concentrate if they're a true kinesthetic learner. And it takes a little bit of time. So once you get there, you can kind of figure out, let's see, I'm behind on these. But yeah, it can take a little bit of time to try and figure out, what type. And you're not always 100% right. And not every curriculum is going to work. We're going to talk about that too. But it's definitely kind of a hard thing to learn about your kids. So, all right. So before we came on, there was a question that someone had submitted, and that question was, how do you choose curriculum if you can't see the inside? She is looking specifically for first grade. The answer that I normally would tell you, is, especially around this time, is find your local homeschool convention and go. You can see the inside of everything. Obviously, that doesn't work right now, but most curriculums have a sample section that you can download or see from their site. So you can actually go in and see, do you think this is something they'd like? You know, if you have a visual learner, if it's all black and white, they're not going to like that. You know, they're going to want something super colorful. But if you have an auditory learner, maybe that same curriculum has something that'll read to them so that they don't have to read. So it's kind of hard to know. Curriculum is 100% just trial and error. You will end up with a pile of books and curriculum that you have bought that just don't work. And my pile is currently over there because I'm trying to sell some right now, because right now is a good time to try and sell it. But I have a huge pile of stuff that we've tried that doesn't work. And you kick yourself because you're like, oh, I spent money on this, or we spent time on this and it doesn't work. But trial and error. Okay, so let's see. So some of the places, some of the main companies, I guess, that sell curriculum, these are all going to be boxed curriculum, which means they sell full sets. And you can also get individual things, because I do that. But so AOP is Alpha Omega Publications. They have several different brands under theirs, which is Horizons, SOS, all these different things under AOP. Timberdoodle, Sunlight, Classical Conversations, and Abeka are some of the most common, but there are so many. One place, so right here is where I get a lot of my stuff. Rainbow Resources has a combination of a lot of those big box ones along with the smaller ones. So if you go to rainbowresources.com, you can actually find, you can sort by subject, you can sort by anything pretty much. Christian Book also has a lot of the curriculums on there. And then Miller Pads and Paper is a family-owned business that always shows up at our homeschool conventions, and they sell super cheap but super good items. You can get like anything from them, from paper. So we stock construction paper like no one's business. I don't think you can see it behind me. It's over on this side. But we get tons of it at a really good price from them. They also have well, like these notepads I just got, these were 50 cents. But they also have fun things that I'm going to show in a little bit too, but they have a bunch of different things. So you can go to these sites to kind of, you know, pick and choose in between your things too. Locally here, we had a lady who used to have a homeschool curriculum site. But she is selling everything. So that Facebook page that's beneath me, hopefully, if I did this right, has a lot of books and curriculum super, super discounted. Like crazy discount, something that's normally $80, she's selling for like 10. So I take a look at that. If you're local, you can pick it up for free. Otherwise, she will ship it. So you can check on that. So let's see. Sarah says, I want to homeschool, but we are moving to another state in November. What can I do? You can homeschool and you can take it with you. So you want to find out what the requirements are for the state you're in now, and then do some research and find out what the requirements are for the state that you're moving to, so that when you move, you can make sure everything is good. But moving is actually, when you homeschool, is actually easier, because you're not unenrolling them from schools and having to worry about them trying to pick up. Like, you just take your stuff with you and keep going. So yeah, so find out where, you know, your requirements for where you're at now, and then where you're going. All right, so a lot of free stuff that you can find too. So everyone always says homeschooling is so expensive. Well, yeah, it can be, but it can also be pretty inexpensive or relatively free. So this is my site at teacherspayteachers.com. I don't have much up there, but Teachers Pay Teachers, if you go to that and you choose a subject and a grade, and then you choose the price and go from lowest to highest, you will find so much free stuff that you can download, and you can use it. So if you're trying to find something for history, a specific thing, you can go on there and see if you can find it. There's so much out there, and also just discounted too, so that it's not, you're not spending a ton of money. So let's see. Let's do another giveaway. I like giveaways here. Okay. And all these books that I got are from the local lady. By the way, I went and picked some up today from her. Okay, so for this giveaway, I want you to comment with one thing that excites you about the idea of homeschooling, or already homeschool. Why do you like it? So something that excites me about homeschooling is we put our schedule to my husband's. So his schedule usually changes every 3 months with different days off. We change our schedule to his days. So right now he has Tuesdays and Wednesdays off. Tuesday and Wednesday is our weekend. There is literally nothing that says you have to school Monday through Friday. And I'll show you in just a minute here how I set everything up. I know there's a lot of information, but we're getting really close to the questions and answers, but I want to show you guys all this, everything. I want to make sure you guys know what's going on and answer your questions. And so what excites you the most about the thought of homeschooling? Sarah says, doing things our own way. Yes, you do not have to do, in most states, you're not required to do Common Core. I don't Common Core it. We stay away from Common Core. So it's really nice. Michelle says, I love having time with my kids and keeping our family close. Yes, that is one of the, oh my gosh, the best things about homeschooling is just the ability to be together. The relationships that my kids and us, we have is just amazing. Amanda says she's excited to teach him. Yeah. The ability to learn at our own pace and together. Yeah, Lisa. Finding the right fit for each kiddo. Yes, Kathy, that's super important. Like, especially, with me, I learned with my eldest, I really thought that I was a terrible teacher for the first 2 years because she wasn't reading. She wasn't getting it. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? Maybe I should send her to school. I can't do this. Oh my gosh, it turns out she has dyslexia and she's profoundly dyslexic. So I was like, okay, there's a reason for this. But because she's that dyslexic, they would hold her back in the school. But she's so far advanced in math and science, she'd be so bored in those. So being able to find the right fit, yes. Janita, hope I'm saying your name right, says seeing my children grow and letting them be kids. Yes. Yes, these things are so important. Mars says, letting kids be kids, no school on Mondays. I like it. These are all amazing things about homeschooling. If you can't tell, I really, really like it. I don't know if I said this, but we are going into our 6th year of homeschooling now, and I would not change it for the world. So I'm going to go with the last comment that came up for me. Is Janita Myers-White. Janita Myers-White, you are going to be our winner. So you are going to have the choice of the Daily Focus. I don't know where my camera is. The Daily Focus, which is a daily devotional for homeschoolers, or 1 Minute Inspirations for Women. So let me know, Janita, which one you would like. So Michelle says, curious, your take on holding kids to certain milestones, like you're speaking about your daughter. So the thing about homeschooling is that people think they're behind, but when you think about it, what are you behind? Okay, it took her forever to learn to read. She's still working on that. But the way I think of it is when she's an adult and applying for her jobs, they don't say, how old were you when you learned to read? They say, can you read? Right? And I think it's much more important for my kids to love to learn and love to read rather than force them to be at certain levels that schools say, because I've also learned that every school is different. All right, so you want the daily focus, Janita. Okay, I will put that to the side. Make sure you send me a message so that I can get that to you. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so here is the fun thing, is how long should it take? Okay, I'm gonna try and share a picture. I hope I do this right. If I don't, well, then we'll learn the hard way. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this. I can't see anything else while I'm showing you this, but this is the basic of how long it should take to do school. A day, not at a time, a day. If you have a kindergartner, you should not be doing more than 30 minutes of school a day. First to second grade, about 45, third to fifth, 60 minutes or so. And then as you get up, obviously it goes up. Now, you can go up if you have more things to do, or like if you have an advanced child who does more. So like my eldest is going into fifth grade, but her science and math will take longer because she's in advanced science and math. So she does go longer. But look at the recommended length of sustained attention. The way I was taught was they can only sit for as long as they are old. So if you have a kindergartner who's 5, they can really only sit for up to 5 minutes at a time. If you have a third grader, they're what, 10 and 11, or I guess that'd be fourth and fifth. I'm really bad. So you'll learn that you don't even really go by grades when you homeschool. But you really need to take lots of breaks. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing that because I can't see anything else while I do that. I hope you guys could see that. But it really doesn't take that long in the day. So people always say, oh, how do you have the time to do it? Well, it doesn't take that long. Okay, so then this is what we use. Okay, so behind me, this direction, this is off, but this is my teacher book area. Okay, so I will tell you, for my oldest, she is using something called Right Shot Primary. This is about learning all the different things about writing itself, not the physical act, but writing. So writing letters, how to do, this is writing a story with a problem and a solution. So this is also very hands-on. There's a lot of activities that go with it. She will be starting, again, because remember, she's profoundly dyslexic. She is starting All About Spelling, level 1. Now I expect her to get through this actually pretty quick because she's gotten really advanced since I got this, but All About Spelling, level 1. And again, it's very hands-on. For grammar, we are using first language lessons. This is level 2. This one is there's no writing at this level, or very little writing, because with her dysgraphia, obviously writing is bad. This is a lot of, it's helping her memorize things, which is hard when you have dyslexia. So it has a lot of memorization in it. And then for her, she did finish level 1 of All About Reading, so she is starting level 2. Now these are levels, not grades. So these, you get whatever level works for your child. And every child is, different. So you have to try and figure that part out. So then for health, we are going to finish fourth grade health from Horizons, which is from AOP. We didn't actually get into it much last year, so I still have fourth grade. She is going to be doing penmanship, level 3, which this is a cursive penmanship study because she's finally ready for that. Then my little ones are at different levels, but they're doing first language lessons, level 1. My son, because he's having a hard time, he is going to be doing Horizons phonics and reading, kindergarten level, along with the All About Reading to try and help and get him a little bit more ahead. They are going to be doing Horizons first grade math. And then for history, together, we do Story of the World. I am loving this history. It is a combination of every type of learning. So I read them the story, then there's questions that go with it, and activities, different crafts and things that go with it. And you pick and choose what you want to do. So every lesson, we usually take a whole week to do all the different activities from. And then I also combine that with history pockets from Evan Moore. So this is Ancient Civilizations, which is where we're at. And this is a lot of hands-on pockets. So this is what the pockets come to be. They open it up and there's a whole bunch of different things that they have made that go into the pockets. That's also why we need so much construction paper. Then we use it's called Cat and Dog Theology for Bible. So this is the kids' book. It's basically just a coloring book with a little lesson. But it also comes with I Heard the Good News Today, which is stories of missionaries. And this is the planner. So you can plan out your days with that planner. Then for our breaks, throughout the day, we have this little apple. And this is the brain breaks. I bought this at our homeschool convention. I have all of the little cards in the apple. They pull one out and we do what it says. So this one says kangaroo jump. So there's requirements in the book on how to complete the kangaroo jump. So it just kind of gets them, their brains having a little break. So like if they're in the middle of trying to do math or something that's hard for them, they can do that. And we take a lot of different breaks. And then my eldest will be doing, she does math, teaching textbooks online. She's ahead in that, so she is starting another level. And then she is also going to start an online science and geography and history. And I think that's most of what we do. However, we also use games. I would show you the thing, but I don't know how to turn my thing. But like this is one that I just got, Brain Builders. They get a card and they have to try and build it. This is critical thinking, okay? Totally counts as school. I got this one, Code Your Own Games. What? Coding. Do you know that's school? Yes, that is school, okay? Like there is so much that you can do that counts as school other than sitting at a desk. So it says, let's see, my 7-year-old is interested in learning Spanish. We're learning basics just from my knowledge. What would you recommend about learning second languages? And then Mar said, one thing that helped my child is watching their favorite movie in the new language. So that's a great idea. As far as languages, I really like, what is it called? I think it's Song of, oh, I'm going to forget what it's called now. because I actually was looking into it for next year. But I have gotten so many good reviews on it. We haven't really done a second language just because where we are, we have a lot of Spanish speakers. And so my kids are already picking up a lot of Spanish. And I think that's good because of where we are. So I think I don't know if you want a curriculum for it. I can find you some recommendations. But otherwise, yeah, just immersing them in it. Finding someone who speaks that language is always a good idea. Okay, so I am going to do a quick thing of how I set everything up. Okay, so what I do is I take all of those books and I actually pull the pages out. I learned with my eldest that getting a big workbook in front of her, even if she knew she only needed to do one page, freaked her out and she would start panicking before she even started school. So everything comes out and they each get their own binder and we do things by 5 days. So not even Monday through Friday because we do different different days of the week. So I have day 1 through 5. So she has in her binder, I'm trying to show just the work. So this is one she already did because we completed that. I think so just the work that she needs for that day. And this is the only physical papers that she has. That's it. All the rest of the stuff is going to be hands-on or online. So I put it in there. They know, okay, today is day 1 or day 2, and that's what they need to complete. I do that for all 3 kids. Now to keep track of it, because since it's pulled out, I use planners. I do use one for each kid just because it's easier for me that way. I'm going to show you the previous planners that I was using, and then I switched to another one. So this was the planner I was using. It's a small happy planner, teacher planner that I got at Michael's. And again, we don't go by days. So if you look, which side over here? Yeah, I put stickers on to cover the dates. Then at the top, I have the different curriculums, and then I write in what we need to do for the day. Well, they're starting to do a lot more because they're starting to get older. And so I went with this new classroom planner, and it is vertical. You can see I started planning, but again, I put, day 1, day 2, and then the subjects, and I put what they did because some of it, like the reading, requires my help. So that way I know. And the way we do it is, if for some reason we don't finish something from the day before, the next day we just start with that. So we don't always get everything in the planners done, or everything for the day done, and that's okay. We also don't always do 5 days in a row. That's where our relaxed part comes in. We are very relaxed on that part. There are different ways to do this and to set it up, and you'll have to find what works for you. Some people will take the curriculums they have and figure out how many lessons their kids need to do per week, and then they have 9 months worth or 10 months worth, however long they're doing, of boxes, and they put it in that and divide it by the week, and then their kids go in and take that. I usually do 7 weeks, 6 to 7 weeks at a time, and I keep the extra weeks for each kid in the binders. Each day has its own side of a folder. So that way, when the next week comes up, I just take their old stuff out, put it in. Some parents will just give their kids the whole book and say, okay, you're working on your next page. There is something called a rolling schedule, which is kind of what we do. But what that is like you have the book and you say, okay, today for 20 minutes, you're going to do math. And however much you get done is how much you get done. And then you go subject to subject. And then if you didn't get to one subject, you get to the next subject the next day. So you just keep going. The thing with homeschooling is that you really can just do it on your own schedule. Oh, thank you, Mar. I'm sorry that you have to go to bed. Like I said, I didn't even think about the East Coast when I set this up. Should have done it a little earlier. I was just trying to make sure that people were home from work in time. So, but that's kind of where, let's see. Trying to think if, I think that was pretty much it. So, are there any questions that anybody has that we haven't talked about or that you want to talk about more? Like how to set up school or how to anything? Do you guys have any questions on things that we haven't talked about? Because I know there's a lot of information. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes to type. So will you be homeschooling through high school? Yes. We absolutely will be homeschooling through high school. I expect that my eldest will be doing dual enrollment, which means that she is getting her high school credit while completing the college courses. I think she probably will be starting some of that as a freshman. And that's something that she wouldn't be able to do in a public school until junior year because they don't really do dual enrollment until later on. So she'd be doing double the work. So yeah, absolutely through high school. I wouldn't change it for the world. Now I know a lot of people are like, oh, your kids will miss out on things. That's not true. There are homeschool groups that have homeschool proms. They have, just all kinds of stuff that you can do with your kids. Also, depending on the state and the area, they can participate in extracurricular activities at the public schools. But there's usually so many different homeschool groups that you can do all kinds of stuff. So, would it be beneficial to set up a dedicated school area? Yes and no. So I'm going to unplug this and I'm going to walk around with my computer. So you're going to have to work with me on this, but this is our homeschool room. So I built it all from IKEA. The desk in the middle is just 2 boards with 4, I'm trying to hold it steady, with 4 filing cabinets attached to them. Bookshelves from IKEA. Over here we have what I call our reading area. We have a bunch of cuddly bears and then a bunch of our books and then also a whole bunch of our games and different activities, and then my husband's computer is over there. So, and then over here I have like our crafting corner and then my computer because I work over there. So we probably sit at this desk once or twice a week. It really just kind of depends on what your kids like to do, but my kids actually don't sit. So how do you manage if kids just don't want to do any work? So there are points in time where kids just don't want to do any work. If it's a consistent thing, then at some point you just have to decide what you want to do. Do you want to let them unschool and do it themselves? Do you want to have battles with them to do it? Also take into account their love languages and their learning languages. Maybe you've given them something that's putting them in tears. You don't have to cry every time you do math. But there are days we will come in here to do school and within 5 minutes, I'm like, okay, you guys go outside because it's just not the day for it. And I don't worry about it. Is there a specific curriculum that's easier to use with 3 kids in your experience? I have 4, 7, and 9. So my kids, so my youngest 2 are twins. I don't know if I mentioned that. They're the same grade, same age, but they are totally different levels. It is easier to put some of the curriculums together. So the history we do together, the Bible we do together, and science. We actually do most science together because you can, and this helps on the next person too, advice on multiple ages. You basically just combine what you can. Unit studies are also a really good way to do all 3 ages, because if you're studying butterflies, then maybe your oldest is writing a story about butterflies, while the middle one just needs to write a sentence about butterflies, and your little one's drawing a picture about butterflies. And same with like the history that we're using. They can all listen to the story, and then some of the activities, are harder for older kids, so you can give them a different activity. So I would combine what you can, but I also take time to individually teach. The ones that they specifically get separate are math and reading. Everything else kind of gets combined. But math and reading are different because they are on so different levels, all 3 of them. I thought my twins could be on the same level. They're going into 1st grade. They are not anywhere in any first grade, 2nd grade. How old are my kids? I don't remember. That's the thing too, is you won't remember because you're at so many different levels of the curriculum. So I'm wondering how to find a homeschool group. So Facebook search is an amazing option. HSLDA also has usually a list of different homeschool groups. You usually can also find one like main group that kind of gives you a different list of all of them. Like our AFI group, that page has all of the groups listed. So yes, those bears are snuggly to read, Lisa, a snuggly area. Do you have favorite unit study curriculum? So no, because most unit studies, and this is why I don't actually do a lot of unit studies, you have to put them together. There are some, I want to say it's called KONOS, KONOS, that is a unit study type curriculum, but most are not. So to do unit studies, you've got to find it and put it together. So you'd have to do that. There are a lot of unit study planners that you can use to make sure that you don't forget things, but no, unit studies are pretty DIY. Trying to see if I'm caught up on comments here. All right, I think I'm caught up. Does anyone else have any questions or anything that they want to ask about or talk about or want to know anything? I know a lot of people say it's really hard to work and homeschool, but it's really not, because even if you work during the day, you saw how long you need to homeschool for. You can easily do that in the evening. We usually, because of our schedule, don't do anything till the afternoon. Almost nothing gets done till after lunch, and lunch is usually, noon or 1, depending on the day. So it really just depends, on what time you start and stuff, but you can school anytime, and you can take it with you. If you have a doctor's appointment and you know that you want your kids to get something done, take a little packet with you. This is backwards. So like this right here is actually going to become our portable school center once things get back open again, because we usually, we like to go to the park with our school stuff and do stuff at the park. We like to go different places to do stuff. So pretty much anything you do can be considered school. It doesn't look like we have any other questions. Okay, well then I'm going to do one last giveaway. For this one, I want you to comment on whether or not after this open house you think you're going to jump into homeschooling. So I wish I started sooner. Can you put the name of the search info for homeschooling groups? Yes. So it is, let's see, I think I can. So this hslda.org is the one that you can find everything. They usually have the homeschool groups listed. They have all the information about becoming, finding your groups, becoming legal, making sure you're doing it right. That's like the best place to start. You can also become a member, and they would protect they basically are your lawyer if you have any homeschooling issues. Like where we are, there's not a lot of requirements. In some states, there are a lot of requirements and you work with the schools directly, and there can be issues. So if you're in one of those states, it's probably a good idea to get the membership. I think it's like $89 a year, but you're covered anything that is legal from homeschooling. And so, plus they also help keep homeschooling legal, and they help fight bills that seem crazy, like when it came out in California that they wanted to try and do home welfare checks on every single homeschooling family because they had an issue with one family, which was a horrible tragedy, but they wanted to do checks on everybody. And HSLDA went in and was like, yeah, no, so I think it's a good idea to become a member because you help support it even if you never need it. So Sarah says, yes, I'm jumping in. Yeah, woohoo. Okay, Lisa says, when the time comes, I think so. Michelle says, been homeschooling, definitely plan to continue and learn some good stuff. Oh, you're welcome. Janita says, yes. And Sarah says, thank you, we're in California. So HSLDA helped there. California has a lot of rules. They like to make a lot of rules. So definitely make sure you're following the homeschool rules there. Leaning more and more towards homeschooling. Yeah. I honestly cannot, if you've noticed, I can't talk enough about it. I talk a lot, but homeschooling has been the best thing that I ever did, and we just fell into it. It was not planned, kind of like right now with, the COVID stuff happening. Families are starting to homeschool, and they're like, I don't want to do this, and that's where I was. I was like, I'm not a homeschooler. I don't homeschool. This is crazy. And then now, almost 6 years later, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. So I'm glad that you guys are all getting there. So I'm going to choose someone to do the giveaway for, but you can reach out to me anytime. You can reach me here on the Facebook page or my website at homeschoolfamilystuff.com. I'm really bad at blogging because of everything else that I have that goes on with my job and all that stuff. I'm really, really bad at blogging, but there are some things on there. And Michelle says, for us, it also helped keep our siblings close and real friends. Yeah, like it's amazing. I mean, right now my kids are going crazy because they're staying home all the time, but the connection that they have with each other and with us is not something that they would get going to school all day. They just wouldn't. And, I can tell. I can tell because you know your connections and stuff. So let's see. Oh, okay, Lisa, go ahead and get your screaming baby. All right, so I am going to, let's see, I actually have a couple of these things left. So let me just kind of go through comments and pick a couple, because I have a couple who, okay, so let's see. Michelle Holly Merritt, you are a winner. Let's see. What I have is the 1 minute inspirations for women or the for women only. Which one would you like to have, Michelle? And Crystal, you had one earlier. Did you decide between so you've decided to homeschool or the for women only for Michelle? So how do people work outside the home and still homeschool? So the only thing that is hard with that is what to do with your kids while you work outside of the home. So in our case, I stopped working, had a full-time job. I stopped working so that I could stay home with the kids, and we made that sacrifice. But if you are able to find a place or someone who is willing to watch your kids during the day, you can homeschool as soon as you get home. A lot of kids learn in the evening better. Okay, Crystal says the homeschool now. Okay. So yeah, that's the only thing is, having someone watch your kids during the day. Michelle says, I know I'm commenting. Oh, hey, please comment. It's okay. I have wanted to blog just to document our journey. I just started using an app day one. Anyone else use it? Maybe you want to take a peek at it. So I actually design websites and build websites for my job. Well, for one of my jobs, not my hourly job, but my other job. I am a website builder, so I just built my own website to put my stuff on. So yeah, and I do blogs and sales and anything else. So let's see, Michelle said she wants the 1 minute inspirations. Okay. And Crystal said the homeschool. Now what? I think I got, okay. So let me see here. Is there anyone still on that hasn't won yet? Raise your hand if you haven't won anything yet. Because there's only like 5 of you here still, so I feel like I should give prizes. Let's see. I think all of you have won. Sarah, you have not won. Okay, so this is what I have still. I have the for women only or so you've decided to homeschool. So Sarah, which one would you like? Joy, you won at the beginning. I think, didn't I say that you were the winner because you had done you were my referral winner? Maybe I'm losing my mind. It's a possibility. Let me look here. So Sarah says, decided to homeschool. So Sarah Duncan. Okay. Joy says, surprise me. Okay. Just tell me religious or not religious. All right. And then is there anyone else that's still on that didn't get a prize? Because I had some books and I had, 100 people respond, so I was prepared. But you guys stayed with me, and I super appreciate that. And I really hope that this was really helpful. So make sure that you guys also message me with your addresses, your full address, so that I can get these sent out to you. Okay, religious. Okay, perfect. I will pick eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You're gonna get. All right. Picked for you, and I will let it be a surprise. All right, so does anyone have any other questions, or are you guys done for the night? I know in some places it's late. It's almost 8 o'clock here. My family's probably coming back soon. But I want to make sure everyone has their questions answered before we disconnect. And this, I think, should stay on my page. So if you want to come back to any of the information, I believe it should be able to be there the whole time if I did it right. So, all right. Well, I really, really appreciate you guys hanging with me for this whole time. And if you have any questions, just let me know. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Now I just have to figure out how to end this. Let's see. Oh, Sarah says mentor would be good. Hey, contact me anytime. I don't sleep. So I'd be more than happy to help you with anything you need. That is what I'm here for. All right. I figured out how to end it. So good night. And let me know if you guys need anything. Oh, you're welcome, Michelle. All right. Bye. I think. Okay.